Discover the new QuickBooks Online Accountant and ProAdvisor program. This webinar is brought to you by Intuit Academy today. And my name is Katie Peterson with Peterson Business Services. I'm located in Vancouver, Washington. That's Vancouver, not Canada, Washington, not DC. I am now QuickBooks Online Advanced Certified. So that's that new QuickBooks Online Advanced certification that just rolled out to the QB Connect attendees last week that we'll all be seeing in December. I'm also certified in the regular online, Harmony and Classic, and all of the desktop products, as well as advanced certified in the desktop products. I'm a member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network, and my firm is focused on business process and industry-specific solutions and training. You can see some links there to my website, blog, and Twitter feed if you want to kind of follow up on things that I have to say. Oh, it looks like we have Woody on the line joining us today. Let's get that on mute. Woody, can you put yourself on mute? Oh, maybe not. All right, so we have Woody Adams on the line joining us today to help us with our tech support. So he will be answering those questions that you put into the questions window and then helping us again at the end of the webinar when we do our Q&A session. So the webinar today is eligible for 1.5 CPE credits. To receive your credit, you must stay for the entire webinar. You will get 2 CPE keywords during the webinar today. So we'll get one kind of in the first half, and then we'll have a poll, and then we'll get another one in the second half and have the poll toward the end. You'll submit those CPE keywords, which will make you eligible for that CPE certificate. The certificate will be emailed to you within 2 weeks of today's webinar. And please note that that certificate will be sent to you at the email address that you used to register for today's training. So if you have more than one email address, just keep in mind that certificate will go to whichever one you used to sign up for today. We've got a handful of learning objectives on our course agenda today, so we'll just go through those really quick and give you an idea of what we're going to go over. So we're going to look at the new client dashboard feature to access client books and understand firm rules. We're also going to look at the new accountant toolbox feature, which has our accountant tools like write-off invoices and undoing prior reconciliations and how to reconcile the client's books. We're going to look at the Books to Tax feature to start a client tax return in one click. And then we're going to start going over the new enhanced ProAdvisor program, including navigating through QuickBooks Online Accountant to access your ProAdvisor benefits. We're going to look at the benefits of that program and how to advance from one level to the next. We're also going to look at the wholesale pricing model to grow your practice and better serve your clients. The first 45 minutes of our webinar today will cover the QuickBooks Online Accountant changes, and then we'll go into 30 minutes on the ProAdvisor program changes, and our last 15 minutes will be Q&A. So this is a 90-minute webinar today. And we've got a link here for the course materials. I'm just going to paste that into the chat window here for everyone, so you can copy that out of the chat or questions pane, that hightail link where you can download the slides for this presentation. All right, so let's get started with QuickBooks Online Accountant. So by now you've probably heard about all of the awesome new features in QuickBooks Online Accountant. If you were at QB Connect, they announced it there, or if you were signed up for those announcements in the morning from Mindy King, or maybe you've just heard about it by word of mouth. But the product has transformed from being an access hub for your QuickBooks Online companies to being a robust solution for client information management. With updates to the client list and new features like document and request management, the new QuickBooks Online Accountant enables us to become more efficient and in turn more profitable in managing our practice. Today we're going to look at the new features in QuickBooks Online Accountant as well as the changes to the ProAdvisor program. We're even going to look at that new ProAdvisor portal that gives us easy access to our membership information from inside of QuickBooks Online Accountant. So we'll start with looking at logging in. So if you were around working in QuickBooks Online Accountant this time last year, you remember when they rolled out Harmony and everyone was so excited. It was the new QuickBooks Online Accountant. So you might be thinking, okay, well, what's new now? Like, what else are they changing? a lot of stuff is changing, and it's really, really exciting. So it kind of starts the same way as you would log in to QuickBooks Online Accountant now, just with your login page. We'll probably have a different link to access this information as we all get rolled over to the new platform. And we just sign in, and that'll take us to our client list. Let me get my PowerPoint up here. Okay. So our first topic, we're going to cover those changes in QuickBooks Online Accountant. We're going to start in the client list, which is the landing page for accountants to log in and access their QuickBooks Online companies. Next, we're going to look at the improvements in team management. And lastly, we will cover the new and improved way to manage your books in QuickBooks Online. A side note, kind of an administrative thing here, is we are using GoToWebinar today to broadcast this information. So I have a nice little screen here that kind of tells me what you're seeing versus what's on my screen. So in some occasions, I might slow down a little bit and try to wait for my screen to propagate. So just keep in mind that if you do have a little bit of a delay between what you're seeing and what I'm saying, that's just the webinar server trying to push my screen out to all of you on the line today. So hopefully now you can all see my screen, and this is the new QuickBooks Online Accountant. This is the new client list. It is such a beautiful thing. I'm so excited about it. I'm just going to let you guys kind of soak this in and look around. I feel like if I jump right in here, you guys are just going to be looking at this and not actually listening to what I'm saying. So let's just let you kind of gaze at this awesomeness for a moment. We've logged in. You can see that when we log in to the new QuickBooks Online Accountant, our client list is totally transformed. So at first it might seem like information overload, but when you look at the details of the information that you're seeing on your screen, you'll quickly realize that this is the biggest thing to happen to QuickBooks Online Accountant since the Harmony platform rolled out. I am absolutely in love with the new client list. I know that you're all getting very excited about what you're seeing, and please note that we will look at all of these things on your screen in more detail throughout the webinar topics. So just try to be patient as I go through these things, and note down any questions you have. And if by the time we've gotten through the QuickBooks Online Accountant stuff, there's anything that maybe you wanted to know that I missed, just go ahead and put that in that questions pane so that we can address it a little bit later. So let's start by looking at these columns. Look at the columns that they've given us to manage our client data. We have access to our client contact information, to the QuickBooks Online companies, payroll, bank feeds, and even into a tax online. Our first column is that client column with all of the client names, their phone number. We have a note feature that we'll look at also in a moment here. We also have the group of bookkeeping columns, which contains status, for review, and banking. The status column gives us the icon to access the QuickBooks Online company for our client, and it also shows us the closing date. You can see that when I hover on that icon, it's telling me the version that they're running and the status of that subscription, as well as the last person that logged in and the date. So that's pretty cool. It's such a fast and easy way to go through your clients quickly and see whose books still need to be closed, as opposed to opening every individual company and having to go in to their company settings and check it out and see where they're at in the process of closing their books. The For Review column gives us a transaction download and other information statuses at a glance. So you can see here Cafe Terrence. We just know right away that they have 270 unaccepted transactions. And then here it says 2 more items. I'm not really sure what those are right here by looking at it, but I'm going to show you how we can find out here in a few minutes. Then you can also see down here, GoldenEye LLC, it shows us when we have changes to the closed books. That's pretty awesome. So it really gives you that oversight on your clients so you can really see what they're doing. Okay, so we also have the banking that gives us that last download and date. We have these, the payroll columns. It tells us our next pay date. If we click on this icon here, it's going to take us right into the Payroll Center or the Employees tab in the QuickBooks Online company. It'll also tell us if we have reports or deposits due. And then we've got this other column with documents and requests that we'll talk about here in a few minutes. Something that's pretty cool, if you're already a QuickBooks Online user, you might recognize this little gear icon in the corner of the list. So you might be familiar with this from your Customer Center or your Vendor Center in QuickBooks Online. Well, it has similar features here in QuickBooks Online Accountant, where if we click on this, we get these options for our list settings. So here you can customize the columns that you see in your client list depending on the services that your firm offers. So you have this compact view. You can choose if you want to include your inactive clients on your client list, customize the amount of rows that you see, and even add or remove these tax columns. So you can add this book to tax column, which would give you those ITO or Intuit Tax Online icons that you could click on and zoom into ITO. Or if you don't do tax, maybe you don't use ITO or Intuit Tax Online, you can just uncheck that box and kind of clean up your screen a little bit and just not even include it on there. We've got some pretty cool features here on the client list. We can even search by customer just like we could before. And then we've got a bunch of other navigational tools up here that we're going to look at here in a few minutes. So there's three main places that we can go by clicking on these links from the client list. So we talked about a little bit about what these different items are contained in these columns. If you click on the client name, you'll be taken to the client detail page, which we're going to look at in just a moment. If you click on any of the blue hyperlinks in the columns, you will be taken to the corresponding tab for that column on the client detail page. This green icon we already looked at in the bookkeeping column. This will take you to the home screen of the QuickBooks Online Company. And if we click on the QuickBooks icon in the payroll column, it will take us to that employee screen. So we chatted about that a little bit already. And then, of course, if we had any returns going in Intuit Tax Online, then we would have that little blue ITO icon in the other column or in the tax column if we had that alive in our list here. And that would take us straight into Intuit Tax Online to access the tax return information. So now let's look at this client detail page that I keep elusively talking about here. So let's look at it for GoldenEye. So if I click on this name, GoldenEye LLC, it's going to take me to this client detail page that I've been telling you about. So the client detail page gives us basically those columns that we were looking at on the client list, but it presents that data in tabs and gives us a more elaborate snapshot. So here you can see for GoldenEye we have this bookkeeping tab similar to the bookkeeping column that we had on the client list, and it gives us this account watch list. It gives us these items to review over here, just like we would see on the right-hand side in the QuickBooks Online Company. We can now view this information from our client list. So we don't have to jump in and out of companies anymore. We can just see it all right here. We can see the changes to the closed books. We can see those unaccepted transactions. And if we click on this Review Now, it's going to take us right into that QuickBooks Online Company so that we can look at that information. It shows me the subscription is plus, and it shows me the status of the closed books as well as that sign-in information that it showed us when we were hovering on that QuickBooks icon in the client list. This is pretty awesome, right? Are you all excited? I'm pretty excited about it. So since we do have 90 minutes today, the way that we're pumping out these CPE keywords might be a little bit off than normal. It kind of seems like they're early, but I'm going to give you one right now. We're 15 minutes in. So let's get out our pens and paper and make sure we write this down. Our CPE keyword, the first one of two, remember we have two today, is trick, T-R-I-C-K. Looks like we have a magician here doing hat tricks. So let's write this down, trick. And remember, you're just going to write this down, and then a little bit later we're going to run the poll, which is where you'll select this CPE keyword, trick, from a list of other keywords. You want to make sure you check the right one, and that is how you will get credit, is by entering the two CPE keywords into the poll today. So let's make sure that we all get this down. I'll leave it up here for just a moment. I'm actually going to pull up the questions module here and see if we have any flags yet, see if I skipped over anything. And again, a big thank you to Woody Adams for being on the line today and helping answer questions, as well as Lindsay with Intuit. All right, I see, looks like we're doing good pumping out these answers. So hopefully everybody's gotten this keyword written down. I'm going to jump back into our demo so that we can go in here and check more of this stuff out. All right, so we have our client detail page up here for GoldenEye, and this one has bookkeeping, requests, and documents. So those are the three columns that we have with GoldenEye. And we looked at this account watch list here. You can see that it gives us that reconciliation date, just like the accountant home screen would before, and still does. It just lives somewhere else, but we'll look at that in a moment. And we also have this request tab and documents. So let's get into that. What are requests? This is something that is brand new with the new QuickBooks Online Accountant, and we're really excited about it. We've got some pretty awesome new features in QuickBooks Online Accountant for managing documents and requests, but we'll start here with requests. So there's many documents that we need to request from our clients, whether it's a signed engagement letter, a loan agreement, or a bank statement, whatever it is. The request feature in QuickBooks Online Accountant allows us to track all of our correspondence about these documents in one place and receive the documents right into the system. Once the request has been completed, we mark it off in the system and we move forward. There's no more hunting down email strands of client communication or trying to figure out what may have happened to an attachment. So here you can see GoldenEye doesn't have any requests yet, so let's create one. So if we want to request something, because when you guys get started in here, you're obviously not going to have requests that are existing. So this is where we're going to start, is with new requests. And we have that new request button right up in the top right-hand corner, that blue button that says new request. And what this request window is going to enable us to do, let me just give you a screenshot up here. Oh, that one's super fuzzy. Maybe this isn't the best one. So what that request screen is going to enable us to do is email our clients directly from the QuickBooks Online Accountant platform and request the documents that we need. So instead of having to jump out of QBOA, go construct an email, search our inbox, and look for the correspondence and look in our bulk folder, did that come in, did it not? We can just request it right from the QBOA, right from the system. So here we could choose the person that we want to send our email to. And right now we're in a demo file, so I don't have anybody in that drop-down. But let's say we have a document that we need by the 10th to do our monthly closing. So let's say we need the credit card statement. Or maybe we just need the monthly statements. Maybe we have more than one thing that we need that we want to request all at once. Okay, so GoldenEye LLC, maybe our head guy there is James. So we say, James, please remember to send us your October statements for your month-end closing. Right, and theoretically, we have our system set up so streamlined that we already get these things automatically, but James is a little bit behind in the times, and we just have to deal with it. So we're going to say thank you, and now we know what we need from James. What do we need? We need his U.S. Bank checking account statement. We're going to spell this out for James because he's not too sharp sometimes, and we need to really tell him what we need. We need his Bank of America credit card statement. And then maybe we also need his, line of credit statement. I don't know what bank that's with. Maybe it's with his credit union. Okay, so we need these three things from James. And if we needed more than three, we could just push this button and add more. So this gives James a checklist. So now not only does he have an email from us saying, hey, don't forget to send this, he knows exactly what he needs to send us, and we can check them off as we go. And he has a due date. We need this by November 10th. And then we can send this request to him. Now, like I said, I am in a demo file right now, so if I push the send button, I'm going to get an error message. But it comes through. You can see this is a preview here on this right-hand side of your screen. This is what it's going to look like when James gets that email from us. So now let's hop into a different client file here from our client list and look at some open requests that have already been set up in here. So you can see we've got some open requests here for, we've got 2 open requests for Goldfinger. So let's go in there and look at those open requests. So here we've got all of our requests listed out, and you can see we have these green circles with our check marks for things that we've already received. So this request has 0 open items. We can just kind of scroll down and say, okay, this one has an open item. So if we would have just sent James that request, we would have had our list with our 3 documents that we requested. And as we receive them, we could go in here and mark them as complete. Maybe if he sends them to us in an email, we can upload them ourselves, but he would be able to upload that information with that email request that we got or that we sent to him, and it would just show up right in here for us so that we could open it up and review it or put it in his file or whatever. And then if he has been too slow, so like here, we don't have the codes yet. We need these secret documents, right? So we can send him a message and remind him, be like, hey, buddy, we still need this. We still need the secret codes and micro photographs. I really love seeing the creativity that our teams come up with while they're trying to fill these demos up with data for us. So we can say, hey, James, we still need these secret codes. We haven't been able to access the micro photographs, and it just sends it right over. Oh, and apparently I'm Shane McFarland today, so that's okay. So now he's got that message, and he's good to go. And you can see we have these expirations here because these are some older requests that have some older dates. Pretty awesome so far, though, right, guys? I know you're all super excited. I'm super excited. I absolutely love all of these new features. I'm sure we have lots of questions pouring in, and don't worry if we've got some things in there that Woody is flagging and holding for me. I will get to them, so have no fear if your question hasn't been answered yet. Now let's look at the documents. I'm going to go back in here to this, to the client list, and we'll go back in and look at the client detail page. Now, some things with the documents are still being fine-tuned to make sure that we're all super happy. So you can see that we're not going to be able to go in here and look at them right this second, but I have some pretty awesome screenshots that I can show you. So the Documents feature is integrated with requests and allows for the sending, storage, and viewing of documents. Here you can see an image of the built-in document center. So this is the QuickBooks Online Accountant. We've got Ben Brust Accounting and his client Beautiful Landscaping. And we've got these documents that we've received in from him through our requests, most likely. Our clients also have a beautiful portal to access the documents and requests. So you can see this one doesn't say accountant at the top, but it has our branding for Ben Brust Accounting. This is our client, Beautiful Landscaping, logs in and sees this. And they can see those documents and even print and re-download that, as well as see their request tab. So you can see that request tab in there next to documents. There's even a built-in document viewer so that you don't have to download every single document that you want to look at. So that's pretty cool. You can see that in here. It gives us a nice clean view of what that's going to look like. So we should have more information about the details of the Document Center pretty soon. So you can see here we've got this little logo powered by Box. I know that we're getting 10 megabytes. I don't know anything about megabytes, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said was 10 megabytes of storage free. They will not be deleting anything. It's up to us to delete and move around. And I did hear that they might be looking at ways that we can integrate this with our own system. So that's kind of why we're looking at these screenshots today is, are we going to use Box, or are they going to let us use whatever we want? Like I use ShareFile, maybe you use Dropbox. I saw something roll in on the questions pane about SmartVault. So those are all things that I don't have a clear answer on yet, but I'm super excited to see what they come up with and see what those answers are going to look like here over the next couple weeks. All right, so let's jump back in product here and go back to our home screen. And I just want to go over this green toolbar along the top. So you can see we've got this awesome green stripe that runs across the top, and you may have looked at these things like, what are these? So this is actually a button here, this QB Accountant, and that's kind of our quick link back to our client list. We'll look at where we'll use that here a little bit later, but that's basically what it does. So from wherever you're at in QuickBooks Online Accountant, you push this button on your toolbar, and it's going to bring you back here to your client list. We've got this awesome thing. I hope that you're all paying attention, and I'm going to have a nice little drum roll here. This is the client switcher, And it doesn't look as awesome, I guess, from the client list, but it's pretty stinking awesome when you're inside of QuickBooks Online. So this is what allows us to switch from one client file to another, so from one QuickBooks Online company to another, without having to go back to our client list. So we're going to look at that a little bit more when we jump into QuickBooks Online as well. Now, something else that's new on the client list is our Quick Create button. So if you're an existing QuickBooks Online user, you're probably already familiar, hopefully, with the Quick Create button. But having it on our client list is a totally new concept. So you might be looking at it like, what does that even do? Why would you even want that on your client list? Well, check it out. With the Quick Create button on our client list, we can add new clients, we can add new users to our team, and we can even make new requests right here from the client list. So if you want to create a new client, we've got this Add Client button up in the top corner, or we have the Quick Create. If you want to add a new user to your team, instead of having to go into the Team tab on the left side navigation, you can just use Quick Create. And then if you want to create a new request, instead of having to go into the client dashboard or the client information page, you can just do it right here from Quick Create and create a request for whatever client that you want right there with a click of a button without having to do 3 extra clicks just to get into the client information. So that is super exciting. See, look at that. Here's our new request. We can choose the client that we want it to go to, send them the message, and move on with our lives. So when you're in your office, this happens to us all the time, where I'm checking with one of my people on my team, and I'm like, hey, do you have the reconciliation done for so-and-so? Just a quick verbal thing. And they're like, oh, no, I needed that statement. They still haven't responded to me. I could just pop in here and do the request. Super easy. And then I could monitor those requests, too. So it just takes out that whole loop of the annoying email cycle where you're trying to figure everything out. So that is super exciting. I really like that. And what else do we have on our toolbar? We have this crazy search box here, which I say crazy because it is way more robust than you would ever expect a search box to be in a client list. So you've got all these ways to search for reports and customers and all this stuff. It's got this coding in here for you to use. It's got this advanced search button. So you can kind of zoom into stuff on your clients. It's going to take me, I'm going to have to work with this a little bit to master it, and it's kind of like a paradigm shift that you need to be thinking about, how you can just use this universal search box from your client list and kind of get ourselves to be more efficient and utilize these tools that they're giving us when we're so used to kind of doing the 3-step process. So I'm super excited about jumping more into this search box that we can use just from the client list and just find things. So that's pretty awesome. So the other things we have left on our awesome green toolbar is we've got the gear icon. So you may have noticed over here on the left-hand side, we've got this Your Books feature. So our gear icon gives us our QuickBooks Online settings and things for the Your Books, which it was previously My Company, and we're going to talk about that more in a few minutes. But then it also gives us these company settings for our QuickBooks Online Accountant account, our team settings, and then, of course, those help features that we need, like the videos, gives us access to that sample company, and then some of our other standard features. We also have our help button over here in the corner. So the help features in QuickBooks Online Accountant are being updated. Let's see, is that going to pull down for me? So what's really awesome about the new way that they've formatted this help thing is that it's going to read your ProAdvisor membership tier and offer you the proper help resources based on that tier. So we're in a demo file right now, so it's not showing us that. But you can see it gives us that chat link. It gives us the support link. It's going to tell us, what our options are for support. And then, of course, it gives us those links to the accountant community and Quickopedia, which is pretty cool. All right. Let's just make sure that I hit everything I wanted to there. Looking at my notes, it looks like I did. So let's go ahead and put our first CPE poll up. So hopefully we can all get this in pretty quickly so that we can keep going forward here. So we've got the CPE poll launched, so please enter that first CPE keyword that we gave you. Let's put that into the poll here. Just check the correct answer for the CPE keyword that was given out. And I'll just leave that up here for a moment. And then in a few moments, we'll have our second CPE keyword given out, and we'll enter that in the poll at the end of the webinar. So I'll just give you all a few minutes. And I'll check out the questions really quick and see if we have a flag. And then, Woody, if you have any recurring questions that you feel like we should address verbally before we move forward, you are more than welcome to come off mute and let me know. Let's see. So I do see a question about document encryption. So currently, we kind of touched on the Box integration. So that security would be the level of security that Box has, which is, I think Box and Dropbox and ShareFile and all of that kind of have the same level of encryption. So the encryption will be the same as your document hoster, which will probably be Box that is integrated. So I'll send that answer out there. Can you hide the close request? Yes, you can. I'm not going to jump back in and show you how, but I will say yes, we can hide those. Okay, we have 91% voted on our CPE poll. I'm going to close that out in about 15 seconds here. So if you are around, please make sure to get that entered. We're at 92%. If it doesn't move here in another moment, then I'm going to close it out. All right, so it looks like everyone that is going to vote has. So I'm going to close out this poll, and we will keep moving forward, and we'll jump into team management. So the team management features in the new QuickBooks Online Accountant System are awesome. I love them. So now that we've covered the details in the client list, we'll look at how we manage those firm users in QuickBooks Online Accountant. So here you can see the full user list associated with this QuickBooks Online Accountant account. Well, let's see. Now, if I click the button, you can. We can edit any user by clicking on their row, and we can add a new user by using that blue Add User button in the top corner, or of course we can use that plus sign, the Quick Create button up here, to add a new user like we looked at previously. The user settings in here are so awesome. I'm super excited about them. So we'll just walk through adding a new user. We'll do it fairly quickly. So let's say that we want to add, we're going to add Sean Seal. He's our new accounting clerk in our office. So we'll just add him in here. It's super easy. We just put his name in. We're going to put him in as an accounting clerk. That's kind of not a very good name for someone. Let's call him a staff accountant. No one wants to be called an accounting clerk. No offense to anyone on the line that has that, but staff accountant sounds much better. I think of like the Clerk's Show or whatever if I hear the word clerk. But staff accountant, we've got Mr. Sean. We're going to say, all right, we've hired Sean. Now, what do we want Sean to be able to access? We can choose what Sean can access in our firm if we want him to be able to access our firm books. So maybe you're hiring a partner, or maybe you are moving someone from a staff accountant to a partner. You can go in here and adjust their permissions. So they have a nice little thing here that tells us what their standard permissions are on these options, full, basic, and custom. We'll just leave this one on basic. But if I wanted to customize, like maybe I want him to be able to edit firm information, maybe it's an office admin and you want them to be able to edit the employees and users, but they don't actually need to access any of the accounting information, you can edit all of that information here. And then we can really get down to the nitty-gritty and specify exactly which clients. So Sean's new, right? We interviewed him, we tested him, we know that he's pretty good, but he is new. So if Sean has some sort of recurring mistake that he's carried over from his old firm, I would prefer that he doesn't do that with every one of my clients. So I'm going to start him out on 5 clients. Because if he makes a bunch of mistakes in 5 clients or the same mistake across 5 clients, I can live with that and fix it. But if he does it across 50 clients, I'm not going to have a very happy day, and me and Sean are not going to get along very well. So we've got this safekeeping here where we can choose which clients we want our team users to access. And then we save it. Now once we save that user information in the system, Sean still has to accept that invitation to access our QuickBooks Online client list just like you as an accountant would have to accept the invitation to access your client's books. So then we tell Sean, hey Sean, make sure you go into your email, accept the invitation, so that when he logs into QuickBooks Online Accountant, he could see all of those clients in the client list, all of the clients that he has access to. So that is pretty awesome. I'm really excited about that. And then again, if you need to edit someone's permissions, like in a couple months when we want to give Sean access to 5 more clients, we just go in here and click on their name. So here we have, oh, there's another Sean. Looks like we have lots of Seans at our office. So we can just click on Sean's name, go in here and edit it. And you can see it's telling me I can't edit him now because he has not accepted my invitation. So that's a good way, too, to check back and make sure that they've accepted that stuff. All right, so we've got our add and edit users we've covered. So now let's jump into the Your Books section over here. And we're skipping over that ProAdvisor tab because we're going to talk about that in the last section of the webinar. But the last feature we're going to look at in the new dashboard is how we access our firm's books in QuickBooks Online Accountant. Previously, we had that row above our client list that was titled My Company, which gave us access to our free QuickBooks Online company that we got for being accountant users. But in the new platform, we have a tab along the left side navigation so that we can access our books at the click of a button without even leaving our client list. We just learned about the different roles that you can assign to the team in your firm. So when you have the team members that can access your books, they'll see this tab as well. But like Sean, who we just added, he won't even see this information. Now, something else you might notice is we still have this green toolbar up here, right? But now we're in a QuickBooks Online company, technically, right? We're in the Your Books. So look what happened to our Quick Create. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's our QuickBooks Online Quick Create stuff. How awesome is that? Our client list, our QuickBooks Online Accountant platform knows if we're in our client list, it gives us the Quick Create client list tools. And when we go into our books, it gives us those QBO tools that we know and love. Like, how great is that? I'm absolutely in love with that. So it doesn't matter what screen you're on, your Quick Create button is going to give you the right tools that you need for the job. So that's pretty exciting. You'll also notice something else that's changed over here on our toolbar is we've got this box that showed up, this Accountant Toolbox. What is that? Are you curious? Do you want to know? I'm really excited to show you. So this is the Accountant Toolbox. We're going to jump in here and look at it, but we're actually going to look at it from within a client company because I want to show you the other ways that we're going to move around. So we're going to go into, let's go into GoldenEye or Cafe Terrence. I really like them. That's a good demo file. Whoops, wrong button. So I was super excited that they put these icons so close to the name because in the old QuickBooks Online client list, I would always click the name and not the button because it was moved way over to the side. And they gave me exactly what I asked for. A lot of us asked for it, having that icon closer to the name. But, of course, our super awesome skills don't enable us to actually remember to push the icon sometimes. So high five for me. But you can see here now we're in the QuickBooks Online file. So I just clicked on that icon. I got into my QuickBooks Online company for my client, Cafe Terrence, and I've got that cool toolbox. And now this demo file in particular is being worked on, which is why my stripe up here is blue and not green, but it's still my favorite one to look at. So we're going to use it anyway. And we're going to look at this little toolbox that we've been talking about I'm super excited for. So I'll click on that, and I'll just kind of let this sit there for a moment so that you can all look at it. So instead of being under the gear icon, our accountant tools now live in this accountant toolbox. So we have super quick and easy access within QuickBooks Online to look at those accountant tools. When we click on the icon, you might notice that there's even some new and different tools that we didn't have before, or maybe even tools that we did have, but they weren't at our fingertips like this. So we're going to go through and talk about it. Previously, our accountant tools, we would have to click on the gear icon over here on the other side, and we would have that extra kind of column here that had our accountant quick links. That's what they were technically called, accountant quick links. But now we have the toolbox with the accountant tools. So first we've got the book to tax feature. So that's what's going to enable us to push our QuickBooks Online data to Intuit Tax Online. and we're going to look at some images of that here in a few minutes. We've got our Reclassify Transactions tool. So for existing QuickBooks Online users, we know and love our Reclassify Transactions tool. This is the one that allows us to move groups of transactions from one account or one class to another at the click of a button. We've also got this quick link to the voided and deleted transactions. So this used to be under the settings, and it's also under the report menu. But now under our accountant tools, we just push this button, and it takes us to that pre-filtered audit log. So basically it's the audit log report, but it's already filtered for voided and deleted transactions so that we can go in and kind of audit our team or our client's teams and see what was deleted. So it gives us these pre-filters. We can clear them out or we can add more. You can see I'm the only one that's voided and deleted anything in here. And we have this from every window, which is awesome. This is stagnant on our toolbar. It's always there, so we don't have to go back and forth with our navigation. Our write-off invoices tool is also right here in our accountant tools, which is great. So we have super easy access to that. And look at this. They added journal entries. So if you are a desktop junkie and you love your QuickBooks Online desktop navigation and you're used to that accountant tab, this is basically, or that accountant drop-down, this is kind of replacing that for you. You have the option to make your general journal entries from the accountant toolbox. We also have the Close Books button. So this is going to take us into those preferences. So instead of having to know that you have to go to the gear icon and go to the settings and find it in the preferences, now you just push the button from the toolbox, and it will take you right to where you need to go in the preferences so that you can close out the books right here. Bam. And you can close them. Super awesome. And then we just close that out, and it leaves us right on the screen that we were on previously. We've also got a shortcut to the reconciliation screen, to the reconciliation list, where we can go in and reconcile our accounts. So this will just zoom us right in here. And then we have that undo. If we need to undo a reconciliation, we can access that right here from the reconciliation list. So now if you're having reconciliation issues, it's super easy. You have your toolbox, you go into the list, you hover on the line, undo the reconciliation, good to go. We also have a quick link to the accountant reports. So this is that accountant reports tab in the report center right here. And this will just zoom us right there so that we can view what those accountant reports are and run them really quickly for our clients. So this has taken us into that grouping under all reports. We also have a quick link to My Custom Reports, which as I demo this and show these one after another, it doesn't look as awesome because we're already on that screen. So I'm going to move back to the home screen just to show you. So if you have customized reports in QuickBooks Online, or if your client has customized reports that they've shared with you, you can just zoom into those quickly right here. If you have monthly reports like for property management that you run each month, you just go right here, My Custom Reports, and it zooms right to that tab in the Report Center. We also have this Report Tools. So this is new. So you might be wondering, on this left side nav, you can see we're logged into QB Accountant, but there's no more Accountant Home. So currently, when we log into our client files from our client list, our home screen is that Accountant Home. Well, that's now here in the Report Tools of our Accountant Toolbox. So that's where we access those tools that were available on the client home screen, which are the reporting defaults where we can set for every time we run a report, we want it to be, whatever last quarter, and cash basis or accrual or whatever you want it to be. You can also get your closed update here in the reconciliation status. So to me, this is kind of like that client detail page on the client list, but living in product and giving us some other options here, like our report settings. We can zoom quickly to the chart of accounts if we need to make edits to that. This just gives us a quick link to the list. And then we've got this button for a new window, which previously lived under the accountant quick links. So you might wonder, some of us might say, why do you even need this new window button, right? We push it and it duplicates the tab. Why would you not right-click and duplicate? Well, if you're using Google Chrome, yeah, you can right-click and duplicate, or you can use the new window button. But I've discovered that some versions of Firefox don't allow you to right-click and duplicate. So if you are a Firefox user, it's a good thing to know that you have this new window button so that you can force a duplicate tab. Um, there might be other browsers like that too. I'm not a huge browser hopper, so I use Chrome a lot, and I just see the duplicate. But that's what you would need that button for. Okay, so now that we're in the client file, I was telling you about that client switcher earlier. And now that we've familiarized ourselves with the new client management tools in QuickBooks Online Accountant, let's look at the other tools that we have in product to switch between companies. We now have a seamless solution to transition between the companies when we're working in QuickBooks Online Accountant, and it's called the client switcher, and this is it right here. So let's say that we are in a QuickBooks Online Accountant company working tirelessly on a client's books, and then the phone rings and it's one of our favorite clients. They have a quick question, and we just want to hop over to the other company. So we have this awesome tool called the Client Switcher that lives up here on the toolbar. And to utilize it, that's all we have to do is click the drop-down and choose the company that we want to access. Super simple. I love this new feature because it saves us so much time that we waste. Like, it might just seem like minutes at a time, but those minutes really add up when you're calculating the amount of time that you spend in a day or a week or a month or even a year just navigating back and forth between client files. Okay, so I picked a bad one because this one's subscription is dead, so I can't actually log into it, but that's okay. So the client switcher is just a really great thing to use to kind of, move back and forth. Let's look at adding a client. And let me kind of get this up here. I got myself stuck in this demo file. So we talked about the quick create features that we have for adding a client. And let me just get a live demo up here. But you can see here how simple it is to add a client in QuickBooks Online Accountant. So we have this add client button that we push. We've got that blue button or the quick create, and we just put this name in. Look, the only red starred thing in here is that display name. So that's how quick and easy it is to just kind of jump in and set up a new client in QuickBooks Online. Once you get all of this information in here, you can see on the right-hand side that we have team access. So this is showing us basically the list of everybody that has full access. And when your team members have full access, they're automatically going to be assigned to any new clients that you have that come in. So let's look at this in live demo. I'm going to use the quick create button to add the client because I think it's awesome. And we'll just go in here and I'll show you how we can add products as well when we add the clients. So what's really nice about this is when we get all of this rolled out in December and we have that wholesale billing, we're going to have some really great pricing models, which I'll show you in a moment as well. All right, so let's say we're going to have Katie's Candy Shop. All right, and I don't have all my clients' information at the moment. I'm just going to put this in because I want to do this in a hurry, right? All right, so I'm going to go in here. I've got Katie's Candy Shop, and she needs essentials with payroll. So I can go in here, and you can really just price check. So say that I have someone in my office. I can go in here and add the client. I don't even have to follow through with this all the way, but I can click on the product that they need, and it's going to tell me how much it costs. So look, Essentials with Payroll costs $41.19 per month. Awesome. Well, check it out. If I want to pay for it on wholesale billing and bill my client, look at how much that price has changed, $29.50. Super awesome. So not only does this give us a quick and easy way to add our clients, we don't have to Google prices and log into our ProAdvisor site and figure out how much this dang prescription or the subscription is going to cost us. It just tells us. That is my favorite thing about this, is just getting that quick and easy answer. This is way faster than Googling whatever the current price is. I'm pretty happy with it. So we talked about that wholesale billing. There's all kinds of things that will be set up with the wholesale billing accounts. It's going to change a little bit from the way that it is now. I'm going to leave this without saving. But you can manage that wholesale billing account, from within your company settings. So when we go in here and look at our account, you can see in this demo account I don't have wholesale billing set up. But once you get over here into this platform. If you're not already using Wholesale Billing, definitely come in here and set all of this stuff up. This will also give you a summary of your clients, allow you to migrate, and then we'll also have some new features for transferring that Wholesale Billing or canceling it with your clients. All right, so let's talk about that book-to-tax stuff that we had lightly mentioned previously. The book-to-tax feature in QuickBooks Online Accountant has become much easier to navigate. So you can begin a return and Intuit Tax Online from your accountant toolbox, where we saw that green book-to-tax button, or from the client list, and we discussed that tax column where the ITO button is. The screens are simple and interactive, allowing you to map accounts, make adjustments, and add forms in a matter of minutes. So I'm pretty excited about the new book-to-tax features. You can see here we've got the mappings, adjustments, and the ITO window here on our screenshots. So if you prepare tax returns, definitely stay up to date on those ITO webinars and looking at what's new in the QBOA/ITO integration. All right, everybody, wake up a little bit. Let's take down our second keyword for our webinar, which is pumpkin. We are in the fall spirit with our pumpkin. Yesterday, one of our keywords was a bright orange triangle. So it looked like a pumpkin eyeball cutout that may have very well come from this pumpkin. But today we have pumpkin, P-U-M-P-K-I-N. I'm going to leave this up for just a moment and remind everyone that there is a link to download resources for this presentation in the chat window. It is a Hightail link, so if you are interested in downloading that information. And you'll also receive a copy of the recording for this webinar and some other supplemental resources within about 48 hours. All right, so hopefully we all have this down, pumpkin. So we've got about 40 minutes of our webinar left, and so we're going to go through the changes to the QuickBooks ProAdvisor program. And then once we've completed that, we're going to have 15 minutes of Q&A at the end, in which we will put up the second CPE poll toward the end of that. So try to make sure that you can stay on the line and get both of those in so that you can get your CPE credit. All right, so jumping into the changes to the QuickBooks ProAdvisor program. There are a lot of awesome changes happening with the ProAdvisor program. But let's start by looking at why. They say that accountants don't like change. So before we discuss what is changing in the ProAdvisor program, let's just take a moment and talk about why the changes are happening, because we like good change, right? There's three things that are really driving the changes. First of all, there are currently multiple ProAdvisor programs across the globe that are very different. There are even different programs within the same country, like here in the U.S. we have the ProAdvisor program and the Cloud ProAdvisor program. The consistency will help simplify things for us as accountants and ProAdvisors. Having one program is going to make everyone's life easier. There's also a need to simplify the user experience. We need to be able to access all of our products and tools quickly and easily without having to go to multiple sites like a Cloud ProAdvisor, regular ProAdvisor training. We just need one place for everything. Lastly, the online offerings are growing rapidly compared to the desktop offerings, and the ProAdvisor program wants to help us as accounting professionals be prepared to lead our clients into the new connected world. So they've kind of reimagined this program in 4 key areas. So they wanted to give us a single global ProAdvisor program for all of us in every country. They also wanted to give us an additional way to unlock benefits and move up the tiers. Having it just be those the desktop certifications was kind of counterintuitive to the explosive online growth. They also gave us some new certifications and badges to help us differentiate ourselves amongst each other. And they've given us our member information and benefits built right into QuickBooks Online Accountant, which we'll look at also in a little bit. So it's pretty exciting. Customers in the U.S., Canada, and the U.K. are often confused about which ProAdvisor program they should choose. Having a paid and free option in each location that differs from those in other locations can lead to confusion and frustration, especially with how international people are nowadays. Like we are corresponding with people in other countries. We're talking about this. We're connecting. And when we're all on these different programs, it can make it really confusing and hard for us to get advice for each other. So the Cloud ProAdvisor program and the regular ProAdvisor program are being merged into a single ProAdvisor program. The changes are beginning here in the U.S. and Canada, and then they'll begin rolling out globally in 2015. So I'm going to paste a link into the chat window here that's really helpful. Maybe I'm going to paste it if I can get it to copy here. It's the press release for some of the changes in the ProAdvisor program, and it's really helpful to answer questions. So I just posted that in the chat box. And again, that's just a release to some of the information about these changes and might answer some of your questions about, the when and the why and this and that. It's a really good article. In addition to those things, the new QuickBooks ProAdvisor program will also help ProAdvisors and their firms reap more online benefits than ever before, including free online products, training, certifications, support, and discounts. So everything that we need to support our clients is kind of at our fingertips. So we've got new products or improved products like improvements to QuickBooks Payroll, improvements into a Tax Online. I believe we're getting free QuickBooks Online Payroll with our QuickBooks Online company, our yearbooks company for our firm. We also get better pricing and discounts on payments and on the new QuickBooks Self-Employed and on our other products and systems like our desktop softwares and stuff like that. So everything's just a lot more streamlined and easier to figure out. There's also a new benefit exclusively for ProAdvisors, which gives us free access to Bill.com. So you get a free Bill.com corporate account with up to 3 users, which is a $1,700 annual value. If you're not using Bill.com and you are a ProAdvisor, definitely look at getting that. It's really awesome. And ProAdvisors will also be able to earn points by using Bill.com and by making referrals, and the points can be redeemed for cash, gift cards, or charitable donations from Intuit. I assume that we're going to get a lot more information on this whole point system thing as this program kind of evolves and they give us more detailed information about it. So it's pretty exciting. So now we have one program, but we kind of have 2 tracks. So it's kind of a 2-path program, even though it's just one. So we all get that free ProAdvisor program. We get the free access to the QuickBooks Online Accountant. We get the support for that. We get the QBO training and certification, discounts, etc. And that's the basic ProAdvisor membership. It includes all of those things that we see here. But in the U.S., UK, and Canada, there's a paid option that includes the desktop software. So that's kind of what we know as our regular ProAdvisor membership. So it's one program now, basic and paid. And that gives us the technical support for the software that we're using and those discounts for our clients. So this is basically what we knew as cloud and regular, but it's one track, basic, and then paid is kind of a step up for that desktop support. So this new system empowers us as ProAdvisors to choose our own adventure, whether that means supporting clients on desktop, online, or both. So by having this program that allows you to be totally online, we have new ways to climb tiers. Now we have 2 ways to climb through the tiers of the ProAdvisor program. We've still got that silver, gold, and diamond, those 3 levels, but we can move up those tiers either with the certifications or with the QuickBooks Online clients. So here you can see the tiers. Just as in the past, but with the ProAdvisor membership, just as in the past, the ProAdvisor membership included software, services, and discounts are owned by the firm, while the certifications are owned by the individual ProAdvisor. A ProAdvisor must have 1 or more active certifications to be listed on the Find a ProAdvisor website, regardless of their tier. So you can see that you can gain certification with client count. So if you are a QuickBooks Online certified ProAdvisor with 20 clients, then you could get diamond level support. Now, if you are a QuickBooks certified ProAdvisor that's advanced certified, you could have 0 QuickBooks Online clients. You also have that diamond support. So you can kind of see that there's the 2 ways. So if you're a desktop-oriented practice, you can still move your way up. If you're a cloud-oriented practice, you can still move your way up. Also, please note what I said about how ProAdvisors must have 1 or more active certifications to be on the ProAdvisor website. Your QuickBooks Online certification is active for 1 year, 365 days. So you need to keep that certification updated and current so that you are listed. And remember that the ProAdvisor search features, as far as I know, are still the same. So if you're getting all frustrated thinking that an uncertified ProAdvisor can earn the same benefits, don't worry. They only get the discount benefits. They're not going to surpass you on the ProAdvisor website just because they have 100 QuickBooks Online clients. Those Find a ProAdvisor listings are still based on certification. All right, let's look at those support features. So there are some changes to the way that the tiers are supported. So notice that all ProAdvisors receive both phone and chat support. The team that supports the ProAdvisor is based on their tier and their path. So if you're an online-only ProAdvisor, you'll receive technical support from either the QBO or QBOA support team, depending on your tier. ProAdvisors who are both desktop and online focused will either be routed to the QuickBooks support or the accountant support team, depending on their tier. And note that only the online-only ProAdvisors must pay for desktop software support either per incident or by purchasing a desktop support plan. So both online and desktop ProAdvisors can purchase an add-on accountant support plan for $199 a year. So if you're in that silver bracket, you don't have that accountant support, you can buy it. So let's look at the chart and really get familiar with it. If you're a longtime ProAdvisor who has had diamond level support for the last 5 years because you have all the certifications, you probably aren't going to experience much change. You probably already know where you stand. But if you're new to the program or you're working your way up the existing tiers, understanding these changes might be more important to you while supporting your clients. So maybe if you're just starting out, maybe you need to buy that accountant support package. Or maybe you need to do a certification test so you can move up a tier. Maybe you need to go study for that desktop advanced cert and bump yourself up a little bit. So kind of know what you need and where you stand and what you need to do to get what you want out of your ProAdvisor membership. So I'm sure you've all heard about the new QuickBooks Online Advanced certification by now. I'm pretty excited that I have that certification. Yay, even though I don't think that they've rolled the badges out for us, but we have them here. So we've got the Advanced Certified ProAdvisor, the Advanced Online Certified ProAdvisor. So of course, Intuit had to give us new badges for everything. We didn't just want one that didn't match, right? So you can see here are their new badges. Now, these are brand new. They haven't even been rolled out to us yet. So if you're looking at these and you're like, I hate those, they're ugly, don't feel too bad. There is some mixed input on whether or not people like these brand new badges. They may or may not be changing. I don't actually know. I don't really care. I think they're fine. But this is what they look like as of right now. So for now, we can keep flashing our pretty rainbow-colored ones, and we'll kind of see what they decide to give us by the time December comes out and they put us on this new system. So yay, fancy badges. So let's look at that. When does that change? When are these things going to happen? So starting in December, the new ProAdvisor portal will be available in the existing ProAdvisor member website and within the new QuickBooks Online Accountant tool. There's going to be an optional onboarding video that's going to be available to all of the ProAdvisors. So you have this little 5-minute overview link, and you can just kind of watch it and get an idea as to what the new portal is like. But we're also going to look at it today. Migration of customers from the old ProAdvisor member website to the new portal within QBOA will be gradual, but they anticipate that all customers will be migrated from the website to the portal by June 30th of 2015. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about website, portal, blah, 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 we're going to jump in there right now. So we're going to go back in Product and look at this ProAdvisor portal. So what this is it's basically another tab inside of QuickBooks Online Accountant that allows us to access our ProAdvisor information without having to go and log in at proadvisor.intuit.com or accountants.intuit.com or whatever link you're using. So here, and I think I'm propagating still. There we go. So I think you all can see it now. We've got this. This is this ProAdvisor tab inside of QuickBooks Online Accountant. And you can see that we've got our membership at a glance, basically. So it's showing me silver, gold, and diamond. So what this is telling me right here is that right now I have gold level support because I have 5 paid QBO subscriptions. Excuse me. So then we have our list here. I've got this little button to get certified. I've got all these links on the side with videos, all kinds of stuff. So my first section here is the certification section. So not only do I have links to my certification training, I also have my button here to go in and take the exam. So this is showing me my training courses, how much CPE they're worth, and the option to take my exam. So I have my QuickBooks Online exam I can take, or my QuickBooks Online Advanced exam, which they don't have the info uploaded in here yet. And you can also see that I can look at my certification history. Pretty awesome, right? So then once I get a certification, then I'm eligible to be listed on the Find a ProAdvisor page. So I need a profile for that, right? So our second section here is this Profile tab, the Profile section, that's going to allow me to go in and put in my name and the areas that I service and my picture and all that cool stuff that shows up on the Find a ProAdvisor page when customers in my area are looking for a QuickBooks expert. So I can go in here. I use the pencil to go in and put in my About Me information, my contact info, and information about my practice. I can also add my photo, which I don't even know if that's live in here yet because this hasn't actually rolled out, but it's pretty awesome. And then once I'm certified, I can go in here and change my profile to public so that I'm listed on that Find a ProAdvisor listing. Our third section in the ProAdvisor tab is this training section. So you might be thinking, you just showed us training under certification. So our certification section has all of these certification-related training, but our training section has all of that supplementary training, all of that extra stuff that we can, learn and grow with. So here you can see we've got some videos for transitioning to an online practice, looking at the new user interface, all these things. So we've got all these little videos and course materials. It's broken out by different topics. So we can really go in here and expand our realm of expertise with quick little training videos. So maybe you're on hold for 5 minutes. You can pop in here and just watch a video and get a little bit smarter instead of sitting there listening to elevator music. It's just really convenient to have all of that at our fingertips. The next section we have here in the ProAdvisor portal is discounts. Super easy access to our discounts. So like I showed you earlier, when you go in to add a new client, and we can see the pricing for that file right there without having to log into our ProAdvisor portal and see what our discount is. This gives us the discounts for other products that we might be using, like payments, QB Self-Employed, QuickBooks Self-Employed, online payroll, etc. So we can see our client payments, or our client discounts, discounts for us, and we just click on these things. I'm going to open this in a new tab. No, maybe not. And this is going to just show us, information about these add-ons, what our discounts are, how to sign up for them. All of that stuff is just right here at our fingertips. We don't even have to leave the product. Super simple. We can see more details, click around in here. So it makes it really easy to kind of show info. And look, this one even has a video. So when you have a client in your office and you're trying to tell them about QuickBooks payments, just pop this open, show them the video, move on with your life. Super great. You can even zoom into other offers on other apps from the Discounts tab. All right, we've also got this Resources tab. So this is like that training tab. It kind of gives us additional resources. This is great for the new ProAdvisor. I think that when I first started my business, or when I first joined the ProAdvisor program, I would look at their examples for like engagement letters for different types of projects, which really helped me kind of fine-tune my one-sheet engagement letter. You can go in here, you can look, there's technology engagement, all these sample engagement letters. I actually didn't even notice that was there when I said that. That's pretty awesome. Info about value pricing. We've got a document here written by Stacy Kildall about moving your practice online. All these different things. So you just have tons of stuff in here that they're just giving us. And this is great, too. If you're in the free program, like how awesome is that? You're getting all this stuff for free. And you even have notifications. So instead of getting the emails that we would get previously that are always telling us stuff, we just get these notifications in our ProAdvisor portal. So now we know like when our new exams roll out, when our software is available for download, all that stuff is going to be right here in our notifications. And then, of course, if you have the app on your phone, you get some push notifications for that too. Pretty awesome. All right, let's see what I skipped here. So let's look at some other things that we should know, just kind of a recap here. So ProAdvisors will no longer receive those version protection emails or those software alerts. Those things are going to come out through that notifications tab that we just looked at. We're also not going to get those membership kits in the mail anymore. So where we used to get those sample check paper and invoice paper and envelopes and all that stuff, we're not going to get that anymore. Things are going to the cloud. We don't need them. The regular new and renewal price for the ProAdvisor program with desktop software is $549. The ProAdvisor program price for enhanced payroll for accountants is $250. All ProAdvisors with the desktop plan, so this is the non-basic, but the desktop ProAdvisors, regardless of your tier, will get a 30% discount on select desktop software. They have discontinued the additional 5% discount for Enterprise and POS. So if you are Enterprise and POS certified and you are utilizing that 5% discount, we're not going to have that anymore. I honestly don't remember the last time I sold POS, so I'm not really super sad about that. If you are, don't worry, you'll be okay. Join IRP, pass your discounts on to your clients, everything will be fine. So we're at 11:11 right now. So we've got about 19 minutes left for Q&A, which is pretty exciting. I thought we were going to run over today, and we haven't. So I'm going to pop up the questions window. I'm not sure if we have anyone besides Woody on the line to answer ProAdvisor questions, so we will do the best that we can here. I'm just going to start by looking for flags. And then, Woody, if you have any pressing things that you want to discuss, please feel free to come off of mute and talk about whatever everyone's been talking about while I've been talking everyone's ear off here in the questions window. Let's see. I've got some flagged items here. So I see this question about talking about unsettled items. So if I'm understanding this correctly, I think you're asking me about these unposted transactions where it said 270 unaccepted transactions. And what that is telling us is that we have 270 unaccepted transactions in the bank download center, in the bank feed center. So what that's going to do when I click on that 270 unaccepted transactions, and of course the one file that it's showing on is down for maintenance right now. So let's see if GoldenEye works. We have 106 unaccepted transactions for GoldenEye. So that's going to zoom me in here to the client detail page, and you can see that I have those 106 unaccepted transactions. If I click on Review Now, it's going to take me right into that client's QuickBooks Online company so that I can get those transactions posted from the banking center. So there's those 106 transactions. I just go in there and get those posted. So hopefully that answered your question. So I'm going to mark that one as answered. So these are unposted banking transactions. We'll send that out. Woody, do you have any topics that have been recurring that you would like to address verbally?
Well, no, not really. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here, but I can't really.
A lot of different things.
Sensible kind of discussion and stuff. I mean, it's mostly around QBOA and logging in and user IDs and things like that. ProAdvisor profiles, that's a good one. Like how if I'm your staff and you invite me to QBOA, when you log in, like Katie, you have your ProAdvisor profile, but when I log in with my user ID in the same QBOA realm to work on another client that you give me access to, I'll have my own ProAdvisor profile, right? Separate from yours?
Yes. Yeah, so the ProAdvisor profile is going to be based on the individual Intuit ID for the person that's logged in. However, your discount tier is going to be based on your firm for the QBOA list. So for example, in my firm, all of my clients are on my QBOA list, and when I add my team members that are also ProAdvisors, they're going to see their own profile on their ProAdvisor tab, but their tier is going to be based off of our tier as a firm on our client list that's associated with our firm. So that's going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be pretty cool, I think, depending on the way that your firm is structured. And then let's see. I see free or paid membership. Do we not need the membership if we are concentrating on online software? So we basically have it's kind of like it is now. We have the cloud and the regular, but it's one program with a basic and a desktop membership. So if you are not supporting QuickBooks desktop clients and you're only supporting QuickBooks Online clients, then your focus should be on having that free membership and adding QBO clients so that you can progress the tiers. Because you have two certifications you can get as a non-desktop ProAdvisor, and that's QuickBooks Online and QuickBooks Online Advanced that you'll be able to get here in December unless you were at QB Connect. So really that's kind of an internal question for your firm. If you are not supporting desktop clients, then you don't need that desktop support. Then the basic program should be enough for you.
I got a good one.
Yes.
Can you compare QuickBooks payments to Bill.com system this week?
Can I compare QuickBooks payments to Bill.com? Yes, I can. They're totally different. They have one thing that they do the same is you can receive payments from both, but they're different. So Bill.com gives you an AR and AP management system. So you can pay your bills with Bill.com. You basically can enter all of your bill information in there. You can have approval processes and process all of your payables through Bill.com, and all of that information syncs back to QuickBooks Online, whereas QuickBooks Payments is like merchant services. So that's like what was previously Intuit Payment Network, or IPN, is QuickBooks Payments in QuickBooks Online. So that's what allows you to process credit cards on your invoices, accept those ACH payments for 50 cents a piece, which is really awesome. And then also Intuit just opened up their QuickBooks Payments API. So the amount of apps and awesome things that are going to integrate with QuickBooks because of that Payments API is just going to grow exponentially over the next couple months. I'm super excited about that to see what everybody comes out with. So Bill.com does allow you to do AR management as well, where you can send out your invoices and people can pay you electronically through it. But they're really kind of two separate ball games, Bill.com and QuickBooks Payments. So hopefully that answered your question with that one. So let's see, we've got some more ProAdvisor questions related to certification. So assuming that the partner in the firm has the ProAdvisor membership, they will have to take the certification test. Is this correct? So, and what do you think? You just answered that, but I'm going to answer it verbally as well. So the, let's see, how do I say this in a way that's going to be super clear? So each individual ProAdvisor has their own certifications that are associated with them. The ProAdvisor firm membership is going to be based on whoever's Intuit ID. So in my firm, it's going to be my Intuit ID. So if I have no certifications and 4 clients, we're going to be at silver, right? But if I have no certifications of 30 clients, we're going to be at diamond. And it goes on that whole count. Now, if I have all certifications and 2 clients, I'm still going to be at diamond. So and the rest of my firm will be at diamond. So yes, that firm owner, if your tier is based more on your certification than your number of clients, then you'll want that person to be certified. But as a firm, if you have multiple people in your firm, I would assume, and I'm making this as a broad assumption, that you probably have 20 QuickBooks Online clients. And then at that point, the certification wouldn't matter for diamond support.
Yeah, Katie, this is Raj here. The only thing that
hi,
I want
Raj.
to
Yay.
Hey, hi. You absolutely are right. So whoever is the top person, if Katie is the top and she's diamond, the whole firm will be diamond, etc. The only difference is that If Katie is certified, only Katie's name will go into the Find a ProAdvisor, the online directory. If Raj is not certified, I'm part of you, I can enjoy the diamond benefit when I call support saying, hey, I'm part of this Katie's firm, but my name will not be into the diamond, into the directory listing. That's the only difference, okay? So when Raj leaves, I'll take my certifications and go to the other firm. That's the biggest difference, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Raj. And I do see some things here on questions that people are trying to log into the URL that I'm showing you on demo. Now remember, this platform is not live yet. So it's live to a certain number of users, but this is not rolling out until December. So you're not going to see that ProAdvisor tab on the left-hand sidebar when you log into your client list that you have currently. These are all of these new things that are coming out. So if you're looking at that URL that we had in those demos and you're trying to log into it, you're not going to be able to. Sorry, but you do have the tools now to access that information when it does roll out live in December. And then I see some questions about the Your Company. I believe that it is a Plus subscription and that we get it with payroll. So that Your Company tab that we just looked at today is replacing that the Your Books tab is replacing that My Company QuickBooks Online company that you would get that's at the top of your client list. It's replacing that with the Your Books tab, and it's a Plus subscription with free payroll. All right. So let's keep scrolling down here and see what else we have. Does every accountant team user get a free QBO company file for their own use? So the way that this is set up is we have a team list. So if one of my employees went and set up his own, their own QuickBooks Online accountant account, then they would have their little Your Books thing, but then they'd have their own client list. So your team's client list is based off of your firm's client list. So you get the one firm books, which is Your Books, that is associated with the firm account. So hopefully that answered that question. So let's see. Yes.
I just wanted to reiterate that some people are still thinking that they'll see all this ProAdvisor stuff in their QBOA. It's not out yet, guys. It's not live. It's going to be at some time after December 3rd. We're going to migrate in waves, so you won't see any of this stuff right now. Just kind of getting prepared. I just wanted to reiterate that. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So again, all these awesome things that we looked at today with our green toolbar and our accountant toolbox and that left side navigation with the ProAdvisor portal, none of that stuff is actually out yet. So this is the what's new, what's coming in December. So this was the big announcement at QB Connect, these huge changes that we're having. And we are doing these webinars to prepare you all for these changes so that you have something to look forward to. You don't log in one day and everything's just different. So now you kind of know the tools that you're going to have available to you soon. But currently we still have that proadvisor.intuit.com. We still have our office.intuit.com. So we're still working in that. And these are all the awesome things that we're going to have here. What do we have, like 6 weeks? So yay, super exciting. So sometime between, December and March, everything will be rolling out. So let's see. So questions about wholesale pricing. If you have your QuickBooks Online Accountant platform, even the current platform, you can access wholesale billing by logging into your client list at qboa.intuit.com, or I recommend office.intuit.com, and click on that gear icon in the top right corner to manage your consolidated bill or wholesale billing information. There's a button to transfer your clients onto wholesale billing if you have people that you want to move on there for that 50% discount. I see someone saying that this seems complicated for a firm with several staff to have access to all client files. I sincerely and grossly disagree with that. I'm so excited about this because everyone logs into one platform. So you have your entire client list and your entire staff list in one place, and you just say, okay, either this person can access everyone or this one only accesses some. super easy. Everyone's logging into the exact same platform, the exact same list of clients. Everything is in one spot. There's one uniform URL. It's not like now where you can log into QBO or QBOA or Office, and you may or may not be able to get into the file. You don't have realm crossover issues. Everything's just in one place. Super, super simple. I'm really excited about it. I wish that I could just like fast forward 6 weeks and have this available to manage my firm. It's really awesome.
Hey, Katie, this is Roger. One
Yes.
quick question on that QBOF firm thing. I think people have some questions. I have multiple ProAdvisors in my firm. If I don't do the consolidation, what will happen, etc. So if you have one firm and you have multiple people right now, etc., one way is when in December right now also you can call our ProAdvisor support and try to consolidate all of them into so that they all point to one firm. So that way everybody can enjoy the firm level benefits. That's one thing. So you can reach out for ProAdvisor support and say, hey, I'm Raj, I'm this firm, etc. Can you please consolidate all our ProAdvisors so that we're all going to be taking advantage of the firm level? So that was one question. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Agreed. And another way to do that, too, is you can just reset who the accountant users are. So if you have all these different QBOA accounts, which that problem was semi-solved with office.intuit.com, but I feel like maybe everyone didn't know enough about how to get around that issue with the new URL. But you can go in, if you have multiple ProAdvisors, just change the accountant user so that you have the same accountant user. I don't care if it's QBOA@yourbusiness.com. Just have that one uniform Intuit ID that pulls together that whole client list, preferably with the firm owner's Intuit ID, and then add everybody else as a firm user so that you can all access the same information. So it's definitely super doable, and it's just going to, I think it's going to make everyone's life a lot easier. So I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, we're at 11:27. I'm going to post the second CPE poll so that we can all get that CPE word in there. So I'm launching that now, so make sure that you get that in, and then we'll just be on for a few more minutes answering these questions. And I'm really excited about all of these changes. And thank you so much, Raj and Woody, for joining us today. So if you have any more questions that you want to trickle in, we have about 3 more minutes. Woody's been doing a great job in getting back to everyone and writing in these answers. But if you do have any remaining, go ahead and pop those in, and we will remain on the line. While we are putting in those CPE keywords, I'm just going to review what our learning objectives were today. They were to be able to utilize the new client dashboard feature and to access the client books and understand firm roles. Utilizing the new accountant toolbox feature, which contains writing off invoices, undo prior reconciliations, and reconciling the client's books. Looking at the book to tax feature to start a client tax return in one click. We also looked at the wholesale pricing model to grow your practice and better serve your clients. Then we went into the newly enhanced ProAdvisor program, including navigating through the QuickBooks Online Accountant system and accessing member benefits. Then we looked at the benefits of the ProAdvisor program and how to advance from one level to the next. So hopefully we achieved those learning objectives today. And again, you'll receive a copy of the recording of today's webinar as well as the supplemental materials. They should be coming within about 48 hours in the form of an email. Okay, so I see a question about where to go to register for online certification and training. You could register for training, for like web training and live training at intuitacademy.com. Otherwise, you want to go into your ProAdvisor website, proadvisor.intuit.com, and or accountants.intuit.com, and see if you've taken the QBO test, the QuickBooks Online test. See if you're eligible for the next year's test. If not, you'll have to wait to become eligible to take it. And you can also register for certification training there or watch the recorded stuff. And all of the new certifications are going to come out in December as well if you did not go to QB Connect and get that early access. I see, will there be discounts for nonprofits for the online version like the desktop version discounts available now? I'm not sure what kind of nonprofit desktop discount you have access to because I haven't actually heard of that. But there are those wholesale billing discounts. So if you are working with a nonprofit, my recommendation would be to put them on wholesale billing but bill them annually up front so that they're paying you the annual fee that covers their discounted fee. So then you can offer that at a discount without having to send them a monthly invoice. So that's my theory, but I don't know of any special nonprofit discounts. So here we go, another comment about shifting entirely to QuickBooks Online Accountant would eliminate the $549 annual fee for ProAdvisors. Correct, that is true. The basic does not have that fee, but just remember that your tiers are based on either certification or clients. So if you don't have the desktop, if you have the desktop cert, now you have the option to have 6 different certifications, right? So if you have 6 certifications, you're going to rank higher than someone with 2 certifications. And then to reach that diamond status, you just need to have 20 plus QuickBooks Online clients, which nowadays, the way that this is changing, shouldn't be extremely difficult to do. So yeah, thank you, Mary. Good. Yep. If you don't pay the $549, you'll lose all of your desktop certification history. And I love having that desktop certification too, because the world is transitioning to online, but it's not happening overnight. It just isn't. So it depends on you as a person and your goals as a firm. All right, so we are now at 91 minutes. So I am going to, hopefully everyone got their questions answered. If you do have additional questions or things, my contact information is in the slides. You can also connect with me on Twitter. I'm going to put my Twitter handle in the chat window there, and that's at Peterson Business Services. I'm also going to put my blog in there. I'm really excited to blog about the QB Connect Hackathon from last week. I haven't even been able to do it yet. I've been recovering. And then I'll also put my website in here for you guys as well, just in case you get left with some sort of pressing question that you need an answer to. So again, thank you all for joining us today. I'm going to close out the CPE poll. It looks like we've got most people that have voted. So I'm going to close that out in 10. Well, I'm not going to count backwards from 10. So, all right, 94% voted. We've got some people who are getting that in last minute. So I'm going to close it out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And thank you again for joining us today. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.